Good evening, I'm Kurt Gutgsell. The Greater Jasper Consolidated School Board met. We'll have that and more when the WJTS 18 News continues. Welcome back. The Greater Jasper Consolidated School Board approved Solo Responder Elite Environmental Safety Services Incorporated out of Evansville for hazardous material removal at the old Jasper Middle School, pending research that the cost is quoted is consistent with similar area projects. That phase is estimated to cost $95,550, less $10,000 if the gym area is not included. The board also approved work to begin on seeking demolition bids for the next phase of that project. Also at the meeting, Curriculum Director Tracy Lori advised the board of upcoming ISTEP testing.
ISTEP is coming up again this school year. Students in grades 3 through 8 are currently readying themselves for the applied skills portion of the spring administration of ISTEP. All of our students in those grades will be assessed on English and language arts and math, which is based on Indiana academic standards. And in addition, our students in grades 4 and 6 will be taking a science assessment, and students in grades 5 and 7 will be assessed on social studies. All portions of this assessment window are short answer or extended response, and they're calling it an open-ended exam. And they will also be required to respond to a writing prompt. And the assessment window is going to be March the 2nd through the 11th. Also during this time, any students at Jasper High School in grades 10, 11, or 12 who did not pass the GQE in the fall or any portion of that assessment will be taking the retest on March 10th through the 12th. And as a reminder, students at those grade levels are required to pass both the English and language arts and math portions of the GQE as part of their state graduation requirement. There will be another assessment window for ISTEP yet after this window, and that will be April the 27th through May the 6th, at which time all students in grades 3 through 8 will be tested once again in the exact same content areas that I had mentioned in the open-ended section, but this time it will be an assessment which will be multiple choice. So our students are getting ready to head into a large assessment window, 2 of those windows being ISTEP.
In other news, it's now time for our weekly update from the State House with State Representative Mark Messmer.
Hi, this is State Representative Mark Messmer. I'm pleased to bring you an update on what's going on at the State House this week. This was definitely a big week. The House voted to pass the budget and a smoking ban bill, which both generated a lot of discussion. The budget proposed by the Democrats, which, by the way, did not accept any Republican amendments, spends too much money in the wrong places. To start with, it is only a 1-year budget instead of a 2-year budget. It spends more money at a time which we should be spending less, would spend the general fund into the red by over $195 million. This 1-year plan reduces transparency in the budget process by eliminating oversight agencies and opens the door for a full-time legislature. Since it is only a 1-year budget, this will require extra time next year in what would be a normally non-budget year. This budget forces Hoosiers who live in communities that spend and tax responsibly to subsidize local services provided by big spenders in other parts of the state. 4 counties will be subsidized with approximately $50 million in state funding, and that means from you and me, for their big spending habits. If repeated in 2011, estimates of the reserve balances would be only $161 million, or 4 days' worth of state spending, according to the Democrat budget. This budget stops funding the 21st Century Research and Technology Fund, which is already creating jobs in our state, and property taxes would go up due to increased spending, despite earlier promises to the contrary. I, by the way, did not vote for this proposed budget. The smoking ban, passed in the House this week, is good for Hoosiers and good for Hoosier businesses. It provides health benefits for workers concerned about secondhand smoke, and the amendments that were accepted in a bipartisan fashion, taking into consideration viewpoints on both sides of the issue, but the bill still provides better air quality for Indiana and Indiana workers. Until next week, this is State Representative Mark Messmer with your legislative update from the Indiana State House. Thank you for listening.
Jasper police investigated a two-vehicle property damage accident this morning on the 4000 block of Newton Street at the entrance of the Jasper Walmart. Kathy Clark of French Lick was northbound on Newton Street, stopped at the traffic light at Baden's Cross. A Jeep Grand Cherokee driven by Rosalie Fleck of Huntingburg was also northbound on Newton Street. Approaching the stopped traffic, Fleck stated she was slowing behind Clark and thought she had stopped, but instead struck the rear of Clark's Ford Escape. Minimal damage was sustained in the 6:45 incident. Clark complained of neck pain but refused treatment. An off-duty state trooper is assaulted, leading to the arrest of two Dubois residents. Sergeant Greg Ashby was traveling on State Road 56 near Cusco Road on Sunday evening when he encountered a Chevrolet pickup truck that was sideways, blocking both lanes. Sergeant Ashby exited his patrol car and quickly determined that the driver, 39-year-old Robert Jones of Dubois, was extremely intoxicated and was attempting to pull into his driveway. After refusing to exit his vehicle, Sergeant Ashby approached Jones for the second time and started to handcuff him when his female passenger, 43-year-old Tamara Batiz of Dubois, exited the vehicle and jumped on Ashby's back. After a brief altercation with Batiz, Ashby was able to handcuff Jones. Sergeant Ashby went towards Batiz, who was attempting to enter her residence, when Jones, who was still in handcuffs, ran towards Ashby and knocked him to the ground. Several units from French Lick, West Baden, Orange County, and Indiana State Police soon arrived and arrested Jones and Batiz. They were both taken to the Dubois County Jail, where they are currently being held on bond. Southern Indiana law enforcement officers have arrested a man on a charge that he helped another man who police believe shot two Jeffersonville officers last week. Clark County Sheriff's Department Major Chuck Adams reports that Kyle Bieber is charged with assisting a criminal act. Bieber was jailed in Clark County yesterday. Bieber and another man were taken into custody and questioned the day after the shooting at a Jeffersonville motel, but both were released after convincing investigators they were not involved. The suspected shooter held police at bay for hours outside a Louisville home before killing himself. The officers who were shot are recovering at University Hospital in Louisville. Jury selection has begun in the murder trial of a Southern Indiana man accused of shooting two men and stuffing their bodies into drums. The dismembered bodies of Everett Lynn Shaw and Douglas Brown were found in September 2007 in barrels near Jerry Pelfrey's mobile home a few miles south of Bloomington. Police say Pelfrey, Shaw, Brown, and Troy Harden spent several days together in March 2007 driving a stolen ATV around Pelfrey's property. Harden later told police about the killings. Harden says Pelfrey came out of his trailer and shot Shaw several times in the head. Harden said he found Brown inside the trailer dead of gunshots to the head. Court documents say Harden and Pelfrey moved the bodies to the barrels. Harden said Pelfrey used a maul to break down the bodies to make them fit. And a bill to expand Indiana's voter ID law is stalled in the General Assembly. Current law allows people to vote on Election Day if they have a state or federal photo ID card, such as a driver's license, state ID, or military ID. Photo IDs issued by Indiana's public colleges and universities are also allowed as long as they meet the expiration date criteria. A bill by Democratic Representative Vern Tinch of Riley would have removed the expiration date requirement on college-issued IDs because some schools don't include dates on the cards, but opponents said the bill would weaken current law. The House voted 50-48 for the bill yesterday, but it takes 51 votes to pass or defeat a bill outright in the House. Tincher can see another vote by a Wednesday deadline. Stay tuned. We're back with WJTS 18 weather right after this. Taking a look at the WJTS 18 weather, the forecast for the rest of this evening, mostly cloudy with a low in the lower 30s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a 20% chance of showers in the afternoon, high in the mid-50s. And for Thursday, showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms, highs in the lower 60s, with winds up to 10 to 20 miles per hour. This has been a WJTS 18 weather update. When we come back, we'll check sports, so please stay with us. In WJTS 18 sports, boys high school basketball tonight. Jasper off a win against Floyd Central will be at home hosting Lagodi at JHS Gym. The Wildcats are 9-9 on the season. The Lions check in at 11-7. You can see this game tomorrow night at 8 here on WJTS 18. Forest Park is on the road for their regular season finale. Tom Beach and the Rangers travel to Gibson Southern. Forest Park is 14-5. The Titans are 8-12. The boys high school basketball polls are out for the week. Bloomington South, the #1 team in 4A. New Albany, Jasper's opponent on Thursday, is #2. In 3A, Princeton #1. Washington ranked 2nd. Southridge is #7. Tipton is the #1 team in 2A. Forest Park 9th. And in Class A, Bowman Academy is #1. Barre 5. Vincennes Gervais 7, while the North Davies Cougars are 8th in Class A. The Indiana High School Athletic Association has switched football playoff classes for 27 schools for 2009 and 2010 under its biennial realignment based on enrollment. Crawford County drops from 3A to 2A, while North Knox goes from 2A to Class A. Earl Clark pumped in 22, and #6 Louisville overcame 16 turnovers with a good defensive effort and some solid three-point shooting. They crushed Georgetown in D.C. 76-58 in the Big East. That moved the Cardinals into a tie for first place in the conference. The Cardinals started 9 of 9 from the field and were a perfect 7 of 7 from three-point range well into the second half. Samardo Samuels, Terrence Williams, and Preston Knowles added 10 for the 22-5 Cardinals. The Indiana Pacers lose last night on the road in New York to the Knicks, 123-119. Jared Jack scored a season-high 33 points. Marquise Daniels matched a season best with 28 for the Pacers, who were once again without Danny Granger and also Mike Dunleavy in that ball game. The Pacers next up will play the Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow night. Marvin Harrison's agent says the Indianapolis Colts have agreed to release him in a salary cap move. Harrison turns 37 in August. He is coming off the least productive non-injury season of his 13-year career. That could save the Colts by cutting him about $6 million off their salary cap number. Harrison has played his whole career with the Colts and trails only Jerry Rice in career receptions. And general admission season tickets for the Class 2A boys basketball sectional to be played at Boonville High School are on sale from 8 a.m. until 3 daily at the Forest Park High School Athletic Office starting tomorrow. Season tickets are $9 for adults and students. They are good for all 3 sessions of that tournament. Advanced season tickets must be purchased by noon on Tuesday, March 3rd. Single session tickets, which cost $5, and season tickets can also be purchased at the gate each evening of the sectional. Forest Park will play Perry Central in Game 2 on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. When we come back, we'll have our feature for this evening, so please stay with us.
Special guest today is Tommy Thomasin, Dubois County Solid Waste. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's been some time since we've had you here, and it's a pleasure having you.
Yeah, I believe the last time I was here, I had a little blurb that I put up about recycling in Dubois County and the proper way to do it.
Yes, well, and we still use that half-hour program.
And I do see it every now and again when I catch the
good.
TV.
I think it's always great to remind the public. I tell you, we have the digital conversion was extended, but the 17th is right around the corner, and people are wondering what to do with some old TVs or expired TVs. and you may have some ideas.
Okay, a lot of people have already purchased TVs. Thanksgiving was a lot of sales and things, Christmas gifts and things like that. The district, as the office, we've been getting quite a few phone calls in, people wanting to know what to do with their old TVs. And we do have a recycling program for the old analog TVs, but there is a fee involved with it because it's considered a problem waste because of all the hazardous materials that are inside the TV. A lot of people don't realize that there's lead, of course, they know about the screens, but there's arsenic and cadmium and different other heavy metals that are in them. So they do not need to be thrown in the ditches alongside of the road, or actually the landfills have stopped taking the CRTs, which is your TVs and monitors, things like that. So we do offer a recycling recovery program for them.
So how do, what do we have to do? I mean, take them to any recycling place?
Okay, the way this works is, good question, Paul. The way this works is, at our Spring Clean Sweep Day, which is going to be on Saturday, April 4th, we accept all electronics that day, which is your TVs, computers, and things like that, along with the other household hazardous waste. But that's a good way to bring them in. Also, if somebody really, really needs to get rid of it before that day, because it's a couple months away, they can give our office a call, and they can be brought out to our process center or our office with the health department.
Is there a fee?
There is a fee for the TVs. Anything that's less than 19 inches, there's a $10 fee. The other portables, which are 19 and larger, some go up to 25 and 27 and 32 inches, but they're still portable. They're $15. And all your console wooden TVs or big screens, there's $25 for those.
You know, I think it's really great that, you know, on that Clean Sweep Day, you know, there is available to get rid of them at that time.
Yes, we've had the clean sweeps, one in the spring and one in the fall, and for the last 3 years, we've gotten a lot of TVs during those 2 days.
Now, you know, a lot of these TVs are still very good. You know, some of the later models seem to be very good. Why throw them away?
There's no reason to throw them away. There's a lot of options you can do with the old analog TVs. They have that digital converter box that you can use to catch the televisions that broadcast over the airways. If you're also, if you have kids that play gaming, or have the game stations, that's a good opportunity to use the TVs. This way they don't tie up your family TV or home TV. The kids can be in their room playing on the games over there. So, or if anybody else needs them. One thing that's kind of hesitant is like giving them to like the Goodwill or St. Vincent de Paul or Salvation Army. They really don't want the electronics because they do not know if they work or not. And then it becomes a problem for them to get rid of.
Yeah, I don't think they really are accepting them, are they?
No, they're not. They're not accepting them anymore.
So the only thing you have is try to reuse it. Now, you have, you know, I don't know if you have, but traveling down the side streets, you do see every once in a while a TV sitting in the yard says free. So,
well, like I said,
yeah.
there are people who could use a TV if it's free and it works, and they pick it up and it works fine. Yeah, go ahead and use it.
You know, but I mean, it's interesting to see that. You know, people are not used to seeing that.
Right. I saw that when I was in California quite a bit.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, you're seeing it here now. So that's one way of getting rid of it, I guess.
Yes, it is. Actually, if it doesn't work, then it becomes someone else's problem. That's the problem with it, is that way. So.
Now, I don't know, but is there somebody that buys these TVs for the metal and you know, there's like gold in some of them, there's silver?
Well, they reclaim them is what they do. The TVs get collected, they get broken down. The CRT, which is your picture tube, goes one way. The electronic circuit boards and stuff go another. The plastic housing goes another, and that all gets marketed out. Now, there is a cost involved with it, so that's why there is a fee for it. It is recycling, and the material gets recycled, but it's not free in the fact like as your soda bottles and newspapers and magazines and things like that, because there's a more cost involved with it.
It seems like that would be expensive, but I think there is a company in Indianapolis now that is doing that.
There are several companies in the state of Indiana that are recycle electronics. Most of them are around the Indianapolis area. There's one down in Evansville, C&I Electronics. There's one here in Jasper, Heartwood Sales, that does electronics. And if people want to contact us, we can give them their phone numbers. Okay. And the thing about them is they charge the same fees that we do, because that's just kind of a wash through. The district doesn't make any money off these. It's just that we can't afford, our budget doesn't allow us to take them all for free.
And really, how has the economics situation affected solid waste?
Right now, because the sale of recyclables, we do sell some recycling, like your magazines and newspapers, is down, which is usually our catch match we use for some of the state grants. We have an HHW grant, which is for the household hazardous waste problems. and we have a mercury grant for the mercury-containing items. Once those are gone, they're not going to be renewed, so we got to figure, then we have to pay full cost for disposal. That's why for everything we call a problem waste, which is your HHW, your electronics, tires and stuff, there always has been a small fee to help offset the cost for that.
So will there maybe be a small fee for some of the other items now too?
Not just the problem waste. The other stuff, there should not be any, the regular recycling, there won't be any charge for those.
There won't be.
No.
So if it's separated, that's the way.
Right. We'd look at problem waste is what there would be a fee for.
Tommy, is there anything else this morning?
I really enjoy coming on here and hope I put out good information for the public. Like I say, our phone number is 481-7040, so anybody can call at any time during the day. And if I can't get back to you right away, I'll get back to you the next day. I'm in and out of the office a lot with different recycling activities and different activities or programs and stuff that I do too.
Tommy, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Thanks, Paul. That'll wrap up this edition of the WJTS 18 News. For the entire crew, I'm Kurt Gutgsell. Have a great night.